For this drawing, I'm going to show you how to draw a cylinder. So a cylinder, it has an oval shape on the top. A cylinder is just a can. Okay, so if you had a canned food, that's a can, like a can of tuna, although that's a shorter cylinder. Okay, and then the lines would line up with the edges. So when you're drawing your cylinder, you don't want to have your lines out here. You don't want to have your lines for the sides curving in. Okay, you want to have them nice and straight. You don't want to have them like this. Okay, that's all wrong. You want to have them like that. So on the good final paper, I'm going to show you how to draw a cylinder. So make an oval shape. So if you're having a trouble making an oval shape, what I like to do is have two straight lines that are parallel and kind of connect them together with two U's on either side. Okay, and then you're going to start from the very end of your oval and make two lines going straight down. Now my drawings are only about 1 to 2 inches big, so keep your drawing small. Now this part, you're going to make sure it's parallel. So it means that this line is curved and this line is going to curve exactly the same. Because remember, if you say, look for example at this is a cylinder basically. So this has a curved top, okay, and then when we turn it sort of sideways, you can sort of see the top a little bit. You can see the curved line here matches the curve here. Okay, and we're going to shade the same way as we did with the cone. Okay, the light is going to come from the same direction, but this time there's a top area. Okay, and this top area is going to be lighter than the rest because it's going to have the most light on it. So we can shade that in lightly, but then we can go back to it. It might be a little bit darker as it goes to the far side. Okay, remember I want to keep my shading inside my cylinder, and what's going to make this side look different from this is the values and the shading. So all of this is going to be either darker or lighter than the top area. So to make this look like it's curving in space, this gets less light on this side. It's farthest away from the light. And then it's going to get a little lighter because it's turning in space. That's what makes it look three-dimensional. And it's going to have that same highlight like the cone did. Okay, highlight is just reflected light. It's going to be the whitest area on our paper. Okay, we're going to just keep layering until we get it right. And I'm going to make this start to get darker as it goes to the other side. So I'm going to put more pencil and layer a little bit heavier, maybe press a little harder so it starts to get darker on the other side. So here it's starting to blend together, like it looks like this and this are the same thing. So my darker value is going to make that difference right here. You start to see that this is separate. The side is a different direction than the top. And again, if you have 6B pencils, you can certainly use those, or other pencils, you can certainly use those. You could blend with your finger. Now remember, I just blended. What happened? It turned all the same medium gray. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to add more layers of pencil. And I'm going to keep adding until it's the correct value. And I'm going to save the darkest value, the darkest black the pencil can make for right underneath for the shadow area and for the cast shadow. You see how I'm building up layers. So I'm actually doing this light because if you go too dark too quickly, it burnishes the paper, meaning it kind of flattens out the fibers of the paper. And you won't be able to get it darker, and it will be very hard to erase. So I can blend a little bit here so it can transition smoothly from light to dark. But again, if I'm going over the edges, I want to get rid of those. I want to make sure I have no dark outlines. So you see how this is a little bit darker here. So I want to lighten that and make it sure that it all blends together. We don't have any dark outlines because nothing that's a real object has a dark outline. Okay, then we want to go back in and make sure that this is shaded a slightly different value than the top of the cylinder. So whether it's lighter or it's darker, and I want to blend this too because this area here has a line and I want to get rid of that. We'll put in our shadow. Remember, this is the absence of light, so it's going to be the darkest our pencil can go. And again, this shadow looks like it's separate from the object because it's a different value. And that's how you draw a cylinder.